So let's continue our discussion about constraints. What I'm going to do is to double click on line command so that I can draw multiple lines. This is the first one. This is the second one. This is the third one. And this is the fourth one. You can see that as soon as Catia understands some constraint, it enables this. Right now it knows that two lines are parallel. If I move it a little bit down, it says these two are kind of perpendicular. I really don't need them. I just want to draw some lines here. And then I'm going to draw an arc. Let's say that the arc center is here. It starts from here and ends here. So what I'm going to do is to select the first line, and again make sure that you select line by line. You cannot select both of them at the same time. For the purpose that right now I have, I'm going to press Ctrl key and select the second line. And I can see that angle is enabled for that. If I cancel this out and click in a blank area to deselect this, I'm going to select them by a window selection. If I go here, you can see that I cannot select angle. So make sure that you select line by line. So I select the first line, press Ctrl key, select the second line, and then I go and select angle from constraint definition. It says the angle is outside. What I'm going to do is to make sure that the angle is kind of inside. So I can click on OK. I can drag this into here, and so because it doesn't move, I want to delete this and do one more time. Select these two and click on angle, and once again it shows the outer angle. Doesn't really matter. What I'm going to do is to double click on that and then type something like 45 degrees. If I click on more, you can see that some items are going to be visible here, and it says the status of the lines are connected, and it can be a reference element or something like that. And also if I click on less, this tells me that I have the angular sectors for sector 1, sector 2, sector 3, and sector 4. Of course I want sector 4. Let me see. Sector 3. Okay. So I click on that. Now by selecting this and moving this inside, I double click on that. Instead of that I type 45, and you can see that I have 45 degrees of angle between these two lines. I'm going to select this line, press Ctrl Z and select this one. You can see that these two are not coincident in any point. So by selecting angle, as a matter of fact, nothing is going to change, but this one. So you can see that the angle can be set. Right now it is 70 point something. I want to make sure that this is let's say 75. So I type 75 and change it. If I select the arc and go to here, you see that I cannot set the angle of the arc, but I can have radius of the arc selected. So I select this, and you can see that the radius is going to be defined for me. So it is 28. I want to make sure that this is 25, and I do this. What if I select the two ends of this arc? So I select this one, press Ctrl key and select the other end, and then go to constraint define. Again, you can see that I can have a distance set. What if I select the arc and then press Ctrl key and select center? Right now you see it again. I can have only radius and diameter and nothing like an angle. So if I want to have an angle for an arc, I can have some tricks like drawing some construction lines. Like this one, for example, I select an axis, draw the axis from the center of the arc to here, and again I'm going to have another axis and draw it from here to here. Now I select the first axis, and the second one has a vertical constraint. Doesn't really matter, that's good. If I select this axis, press Ctrl key and select this axis, I know that this one is not going to move because it is constrained by a verticality constraint. I select this, and now I can have an angle. I click on OK. the angle is something like 135. I want to, let's move it a little bit out, and now here I want to make sure that this is 120. So you can see that by doing this and clicking on OK, the length of the arc is smaller. I mean, the angle of the arc becomes small or big. So you can see that although we don't have all the constraints that we need, but we can have some tricks here, and we can do them to change the shapes that we want the way that we want.